Well, I think the thyroid issue is really a fascinating one because it talks about something that medicine doesn't, which is that there's an intelligent design to the human body. And by that I don't mean I'm anti-evolution with intelligent design. What I mean is that the body functions the way it does according to some sort of a plan. And the structure of the body is the way it is because it's supposed to work a certain way. It's designed a certain way. Now, medicine typically doesn't think about design because then you start to get into the field of metaphysics and who's the designer. But if you just accept the fact that there's a logic and sense to the body, somehow, from somewhere, then you approach things differently. We developed this theory that the reason the body has the thyroid on the voice box is there's a reason for it. The reason is because as you speak, you're actually stimulating and vibrating your thyroid. Right here at your Adam's apple is your voice box. Right inside here are where your vocal cords are. And right surrounding it, like a butterfly, is your thyroid. So your thyroid's right here, and your voice box is right beneath it. And for a hormone-producing gland, you would imagine, with the importance of the thyroid, you'd imagine you'd have this somewhere to protect it if you didn't want it touched and vibrated or stimulated, like in your abdomen somewhere, or But here it is, right on your throat, where you actually are massaging your thyroid every time you talk. Thyroxine is actually stored within the thyroid in a gel-type form, and when so that gel can resonate with vibration. And people who work in high vibration environments actually can get thyroid damage. So the thyroid does respond to vibration. You also, if you massage your thyroid, you can make it release thyroxine. And if you did this frequently, if you had high thyroid and you massage your thyroid, it could be bad for you. In fact, massage therapists don't massage the throat because for people who are high thyroid, because they don't want to give them even more thyroxine into their system. But you can stimulate your own thyroid by manually manipulating it. So the question then is, could this actually be an important part of thyroid regulation, that our voice actually stimulates and controls our thyroid function to some degree? Now, in the medical world, it's understood that the thyroid is controlled by your brain. And we have, the brain produces a thyroid-stimulating hormone that in the pituitary that comes down to your thyroid. And that thyroid-stimulating hormone is itself stimulated by a releasing hormone from the hypothalamus right next to the pituitary. And that area detects the amount of circulating thyroxine in your blood. So this is a classic feedback loop, one of the first ones that was really discovered by endocrinologists. It's to have, as your thyroid drops, it stimulates your brain to produce more thyroid-stimulating hormone, which then increases your thyroid's production of thyroxine, and there's a negative feedback, and then your brain reduces this thyroid-stimulating hormone. So what doctors tend to look at is how much thyroid-stimulating hormone do you have, and how much thyroxine do you have? And they expect a certain proportion, and if it's out of proportion, they say you either have low thyroid or high thyroid, hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. But they don't ever consider the effect of your use of your voice on the thyroid stimulation. So we found actually, though, that in the past, Ayurvedic medicine did say that chanting was good for your thyroid. So people in the past did understand this link between the thyroid and your voice. And people who study voice know that if you get a goiter, which is an enlarged thyroid, that can affect your voice. So the relationship between the thyroid and the voice has exclusively been how the thyroid can affect the voice. If you get surgery for the thyroid and they cut the wrong nerve, they can make you they can stop the vocal cords from vibrating. So they have to be careful when they treat the thyroid for what it can do to your voice. But they never reverse that and wonder, how does the way you treat your voice affect your thyroid? Well, I ran into an interesting situation after we formulated this, and we were looking for case histories of people. Unfortunately, when you find people with thyroid problems, they've already been to the doctor, and the doctor does something that makes you a lifetime customer.